The controversy surrounding Brazil's presence at Maduro's inauguration. It was a moment that caught global attention. As Nicolás Maduro, Venezuela's controversial leader, celebrated his inauguration, prominent figures from Brazil, including representatives of the PT, MST, and Lula's government, stood amidst the crowd. This presence ignited fierce debates both domestically and internationally. Images of Camila Moreno from PT and João Pedro Stedile of MST alongside Brazil's ambassador, Glivênia Oliveira, quickly spread. Critics labeled this act as an endorsement of Maduro's authoritarian regime, known for human rights abuses and economic turmoil. Was this an act of diplomacy, or something more concerning? Nicolás Maduro's presidency in Venezuela is anything but ordinary. Allegations of authoritarian control, political persecution, and systemic human rights abuses haunt his administration. While some view him as a defender of socialism, others see Maduro's reign as a symbol of oppression and economic collapse. Countries around the world remain divided on Venezuela's leadership. Opposition leader González Urtira is recognized by several nations as the legitimate president, intensifying tensions. So, why did Brazil, a major Latin American power, choose to show up at Maduro's ceremony? The presence of PT, MST, and the Lula administration at the inauguration raises eyebrows. For some, this represents solidarity with a neighboring nation. For others, it's a gesture that undermines Brazil's commitment to human rights, signaling alignment with a controversial leader accused of authoritarian practices. Camila Moreno emphasized their ongoing partnerships, especially in agriculture. MST representatives underscored shared values between their movements in Venezuela. Despite their intentions, these actions have sparked criticism, leaving observers to question the motivations behind Brazil's involvement. Back home, opposition voices in Brazil wasted no time in condemning the move. Critics argue that such involvement damages Brazil's international standing while alienating democratic allies. This approach could, they warn, signal that Brazil's government condones oppressive regimes, undermining its own democratic values. On the global stage, reactions were mixed. Some countries saw Brazil's presence as an extension of pragmatic diplomacy, while others interpreted it as tacit acceptance of Maduro's regime. This debate has propelled Brazil-Venezuela relations into the spotlight, sparking conversation about the ethics of international partnerships. For decades, Venezuela and Brazilian organizations like MST have engaged in collaborations, particularly in agriculture. Land reform, sustainable farming, and socialist ideals formed the foundation of their partnerships. While many applaud these efforts, others criticize such alliances for sustaining authoritarian regimes under the guise of progress. These collaborations, highlighted during the inauguration, illustrate the complex ties between nations sharing similar political values. However, the debate remains: can beneficial projects like agricultural development justify associating with controversial regimes accused of systemic abuses? Brazil's attendance sends a message about its foreign policy under Lula. Does this signify a pivot toward aligning with other leftist governments, even at the cost of international criticism? Or is Brazil merely practicing strategic diplomacy, fostering neighborly collaboration without endorsing repression? These questions define Brazil's standing on the global stage. As a regional leader in Latin America, its actions are scrutinized closely. Many wonder if alignment with Venezuela reflects a broader agenda by Lula's government or a misstep that could cost Brazil long-term alliances. This controversy is far from over. With ongoing criticism and polarized public opinion, Brazil's government must clarify its stance. Will it continue to foster deeper ties with Venezuela, or take a firm stand for human rights and democracy? The dilemma holds implications not just for Brazil, but for the region as a whole. Every decision carries a weight that affects Brazil's reputation as a democratic leader. How the Lula administration navigates this controversy might shape its relationships on the international stage for years to come. Debate on Brazil's role in Maduro's inauguration continues to ignite discussions. What's your take? Should diplomacy trump democratic values, or should Brazil maintain ethical boundaries in its alliances? Share this video, spark the conversation, and let your voice be heard in shaping Latin America's future.